Whew, we back. We back at it. We back at it. What's up, everybody? Cheers. What's up, everybody? Back doing another video. Obviously, it's been a little bit. I had a lot of stuff going on outside, working a lot. Hopefully, you guys have been good. There's just been a lot of shit going on, but we have kind of a change of how everything's been going through, and I want to give you guys an update video before we see what comes on next in the channel. Fuck. Oh god. As you guys have known, this channel kind of can go through changes at times, but I definitely wanted to let you guys know what has been going on recently, where the direction of this channel is going. I feel kind of confident because that's really why I've been absentee, why I haven't really been uploading anything other than just working way too much, which that's part of an update as well. I just was feeling very repetitious, and I knew that I was buying so many records that I couldn't really keep up with, like showing you every single record that came in, and then like I was 5 behind, and then I was 10 behind, and then I was 15 behind, and so on and so forth. And I eventually was just like, all right, we got to like figure out what we're really going to use the channel for. But this is kind of an update for it. So as you guys know, that we have been getting really deep into different forms of music production, and I think that's kind of what the channel naturally is doing. The vlog naturally kind of goes like with what my interests are, and I have been a fucking menace on making beats and using samples and hunting for samples, and that's been just so much fun. I don't know if it's just one step at a time, I'm just leading into another direction in life, but I've been really excited by it. Hopefully you guys are also just like reciprocating my energy on this one. I do have, I think, about 5 records I want to show you guys. I think 3 of them are part of a big thing on this video that I really want to like just kind of shout out to a group of creators that has really just inspired me. And then also I got a crazy grail pickup, probably one of my favorite things that I have bought, at least in my collection. The first thing I wanted to show you guys was some gear that I have been using the past few, I guess, months now at this point. Recently, as you guys know, I use Ableton Live, and I've been getting way more comfortable with that, at least in the production side. And actually I've been like impressing myself with how much I've kind of grasped that DAW and what I'm doing with it now. And a lot of content, I guess, throughout this is gonna be just how I use it, what we use it for, and what we are making with the things that we're using. The first piece of gear that I wanted to show you, this is kind of like the main focus, I guess, of what I've had this for a couple years, but I really haven't been as confident with this as I've been in the past few months. And this has been crazy. So much research, so much studying this piece of equipment, so much just understanding what it can do, and really just, I understand that like I underestimated this thing so much, and then once I watch a couple videos, kind of go down a few rabbit holes, I can find out really what I can do with it, and I'm kind of excited for what follows that. But that is your Launchpad X. This is the Novation Launchpad. This thing, if you guys like beats, if you like making samples, if you like doing pretty much anything through Ableton, this MIDI controller is phenomenal. As you can see right there, you got your Novation. This isn't anything new. A lot of people have shown these things, but for me, this thing has been a fucking game changer. I'm so happy to have finally like understood the power that is in something like this. A little like $200 pad. And you can do just so much with it. You can do drum pads, you can do different keys, you can do different sequences. It has your performance mode in there where it has session modes. You can pan with it. You can do just so much. If you guys have one of these too, in the comments, let me know what you think about these. I've looked at like the Launchpad MIDI and stuff like that, but gear is just like one of those things that once you start buying it, like sneakers, records, and anything else that people like and kind of nerd out about and collect, this shit, you just keep buying it and then buying it, and then you find another piece of gear that you want and then you buy it. And for me recently, I've been looking into retro gear, and I go, oh my gosh, like I don't know what I'm gonna be able to do without anything not helping. Like I'm crazy about gear. But yeah, Launchpad X, really been happy with this one. Hopefully you guys can pick one of these up. If you like, you probably can find them not too expensive on eBay and like Mercari and stuff. But if you like making beats, like I said, we'll show you more on this. I'll probably do an entire video just dedicated to this thing right here and what I've been using it for, because this has been a game changer. I'm saying the next pieces of equipment that we got has a really cool story with it. So I recently, you guys know, I stay in Goodwills. I thrift a lot, and I always am trying to just stay up to date with what's coming through. Live in Blacksburg, and when students leave, it is like the greatest time to come to Goodwills, YMCA's, thrift stores, pretty much any of them, and you can find some pretty crazy deals. And that is kind of what we did. This was another piece. I already technically had this, so I'll show you, I guess, what I found first. And I was in there, and if you guys ever go into Goodwill and stuff like that, you know, they have the glass case, and there's usually nothing in there. It's like board games and women's shoes and purses and shit like that. But for me, as an amateur beat maker, aspiring, I guess, crate digger type of thing, I found this thing in there, and it was $25. When I saw the sticker, I was like, say less to the person. I was like, yeah, please, just can I see that? And then, yeah, sure. And I got it, and I was like, man, I really hope there is nothing wrong with this thing, just because it was a really good price. Came with the cables, came with everything, but enough like anticipation. But it was one of the earlier first LAKEY minis. This is your basic like black and white with the red, and as you can see, I kept the Goodwill sticker on there. But $24.99. I'd never really want to take this sticker off, because like it's just kind of cool that that's what I paid for this thing. And I took it home, and I was like, if it's busted or something like that, you know, it's not really that bad. But took it home, it was just dusty. Like everything worked on it. All the keys worked, all the pads worked, all the knobs worked. This thing works. Like, it's really cool to have. I'm very glad that I found this, because I actually already had the red version of it. So now we kind of have two of them. There's a few more. I don't know if I want to get the other ones, but you can see this one is the more red with the black keys. You got your red keys. And then this one is just your standard black with the red on the side. Yeah, these were cool. I like little mini keyboards, and I think mini keyboards are like just really cool to have. They're kind of inexpensive, but it's really easy just to throw this thing in your backpack with your laptop and your launch pad. And if you need to make a beat, like, there you go. That's all you need. So that's really kind of been what I've been getting into recently, is just a lot of gear. I'm looking at more gear. I want to buy more gear, and I just realized that it's another addiction that's going to be coming, and it's, yeah, at least it makes good content. That's the end of the gear section. Hopefully, you guys, let me know in the comment which one of those, like, you guys have, and just, like, is there anything kind of goofy that you learned that they do that maybe I'm not aware of? Because I love finding out, like, little quirks. I just recently found out about the Capture MIDI feature on the Launchpad X, which has been awesome, because that's always been my thing. Is I get psyched out. You practice your beat a little bit, go through a couple bars on it, and then when you got to hit the play, and then you got to go into record, and then try and time it right, I've always just, the ADD just kicks in, and I don't know. And the best part about the Capture MIDI is you set your bars, how long you want to go, play that beat steadily, and then when you're done, go in there, hold Capture MIDI, and it puts it all up in there for you. I know there's probably somebody watching the video like, yeah, you fucking idiot, that's what it does. I did not know that. But we'll wrap the video, guys. I don't want to do too long on it. I was thinking about, like, how am I going to explain to them where I've been? Like, are the subscribers going to hate me for not posting all the time? And I don't know how frequently I'm going to post on the channel. I hope that it's going to be more frequent. Before we get into the records and everything, I do want to say, though, in my own personal life, I'm gonna have some changes happening soon, because I am dropping a little bit of time at my actual 9-to-5 job, gonna have weekends off, and gonna be able to travel and kind of take you guys along and do more stuff with music and my eBay store. And just, you know, I needed to take some time and have more of a set schedule. I've worked retail now for almost 13 years, and I've never had weekends off. I've always been a full-time, like, open schedule, anytime you want to work me type of person, and I am just fucking tired of that. Thankfully, my job, you know, we came to an agreement where, you know, I can still do what I need to do, but also, like, they're gonna give me time to really work on stuff that I want to be working on, and then when I come into work, I'm gonna be in a much better mood. So, just, you know, shout out to anybody that's in the similar thing. Like, it is so important. as a creative person and as a musician and as an artist and as just a developer of anything, that you have that time for yourself. So any advice to people that watch this video, if you feel swamped in your life, either by a job or by other circumstances, and you feel like it takes time away from your creativity, if it's that important to you to make stuff, you should move mountains to make sure that you are happy and that your mental health is being thought of number one above money, above any of that shit, because, you know, making $1 is not hard. And hopefully you guys are kind of understanding like where I come from in that is, you know, I'm very proud of being a hardworking person, but I also know when I'm redlining myself, and I don't want to redline myself anymore. And I want to be able to travel. I want to be able to play music. I want to go just do all these things that I've been aspiring to do for fucking 13 years now. And now I've developed this skill in developing my craft where I really just, you know, you trust the universe and you just see where it can go. And this is my chapter. And I'm like affirming that shit in the vlog. So hopefully this, if I ever go back and watch this episode, I go, fuck, that's when everything changed. So thank you guys for sticking with the vlog. We're gonna get into the records real quick, and then we're gonna gush a little bit, and I'm gonna show you some vinyl. But the first things I wanted to show you were 2 records that I picked up since we last saw each other that have been crazy. One of them is just an album that I've already kind of talked about on this channel, but I knew that I had to get it, and I found a good price for it, and I got it sent, and it is amazing. It's one of my favorite records of all time, and I'm very glad that I got it. And that was the VMP edition of Enter the 36th Chamber by the Wu-Tang Clan. This is the only time that it has been pressed on 2 LPs. I'm not gonna take it out just because if you want to see it, there's video of it. You'll probably see this too on a live stream or something that we're gonna be doing. But this record on VMP, they did such a good job on this. It's mastered well. It sounds so much better than the other one that you can buy, just the single LP. The single LP, it's just, the sound on it is garbage. A record this monumental and for East Coast hip hop and what it did for the hip hop game in general, you really want to have it kind of sounding the best. And it has its little chessboard back here with the Wu-Tang symbol on there, as you can see. But if you guys can find this, scoop it up. I totally recommend it. I think it's probably one of the best sounding hip hop records in my entire collection, and I am very glad to have it. So next, what we have up, this is, like I said, this is probably my favorite soundtrack that is in my entire collection. And that's really hard to say because I have some good soundtrack. Recently, I just did a cataloging of my records, and I have way more than I thought I did. And there are multiple genres. I think I had probably 20 something genres of records. So I've been buying just so much. That's, like I said earlier in the video, it kind of intimidated me to try and like catch up everybody with what I had. So I don't think we're gonna really do that. I'm just gonna do like spotlight moments with different records. That's gonna be a lot easier, and it's just kind of random. It's just cool, like cool shit that I was on that week that I want to show you guys. But I did want to make at least a catch-up thing of like what are the highlights since the last time we did a video. But enough rambling on that. This is recently, it came out last year, I think, at like the end of the year, but it's just now kind of hitting like shores of the US and stuff like that. I got this thing for a steal, I think. I think this record's just gonna be so expensive in the next couple years. It is a Japanese import too, so it's just one of those things. But that is the Char's Counterattack, as you guys can see right there. Mobile Suit Gundam, the original soundtrack. This shit is so cool. It's a red vinyl. It has the Neo Zeon logo on one side. It's got Char's logo on the other. I don't really want to take it out because this thing is not the easiest thing to take out. But as you can see, we have the new Gundam right there. I think that is a, what are you? That is a, I think it's a gem. It's like a one of the gyms. But this record sounds so good. I've already kind of worked with a sample off of it. As you guys know, kind of the segue for this is I want to use anime, but mostly Mobile Suit Gundam. I have a couple more. As you guys know, I have the 45 from the Zeta theme, and I just kind of picked up a few. I got the, I think it is the one with Char on it. I picked that up recently. I'll show you guys that probably in another video. Just we'll make a beat out of it and we'll just make a video out of it. I want to use like kind of specifically Mobile Suit Gundam on the first beat tape that we're gonna do for Zazaby, because I think that like that is one of those projects where it is a direct correlation of that influence. So that is kind of like the introduction that I want to do. And Little Bird, just to let you know, that project's already underway, so stay tuned. Mobile Suit Gundam Char's Counterattack. This is like one of the only times I've seen it on vinyl. I think I ended up buying this for like 70 bucks or some shit like that. Most I've ever spent on a record so far, but zero regrets on this record right here. I'm sure I'm gonna spend more later on. There's a few records out there that are pretty expensive that are on my hit list, but definitely this one right here, as soon as I knew that it was pressed and as soon as I saw just kind of the increase of how much it was, I had to figure it out. And I'm glad that I did, and it's in the collection and it is a highlight of it. But the ender of this video is kind of like a spotlight that I wanted to do. And that is on, if you guys follow me on Instagram, you know that I fuck with this record label heavy. And a lot of their pressings, I wanted to show you guys just what they look like. Kind of gush over these artists a little bit just because like these dudes are the homies. Like I have chatted with them online. It's a genuine place. It's a genuine type of experience, and I think that it should have some public light, especially either here on YouTube or pretty much anywhere that I can brag about this shit. This is where I nerd out. So recently, these 3 records are pretty much what I have from this record label, but I will be buying more. I already have a pre-order on another one coming in, and then I think in the morning there's stuff that launches, and I'll probably end up buying that too. That is Aloe City Wrld Records, so I wanted to kind of shout out. I'll put the thing right here for it. This is more of your small house, independent type of record label. Their pressings are sick, and I wanted to show you guys these real quick. This first one, I don't know the names of any of these albums. That's kind of the thing. So I got into vaporwave and, you know, like, I guess trip hop and just that darker style, like hip hop influence, like electronic music and sample based shit, and I call it plunder music at times because all this shit's pretty much just taken from other sources, time stretched, and you know all the tricks of the trade to kind of get these. But I wanted to kind of vent off on these, and it's 2 artists from that record label. The first one that I wanted to show you is this record. This is from my boy Macro Blank. If you guys have not checked out his stuff, go on Instagram, go on YouTube, go on Spotify, go on Bandcamp, find this dude. This shit is so cool. I am so glad that I've been able to pick these up. As you can see right there, we got the boy. There you go. And the vinyl itself is this really pretty green. Show you that right there. Very pretty pressing. They pride themselves, I think, on just quality. And definitely this is one of those records when, as soon as I listened to it, I was like, oh man, it sounds good, it looks good, it feels good. These things are pretty valuable too. Each one of these records probably is like around $100 to get it on Discogs, but I'm never gonna sell any of these. These are just must-stays, and I'm so glad that I picked these up. This record by Macro Blank is phenomenal. Both sides of it, as you see, we have the art on the back. Like, there's just such good graphic art that's on this, and that's kind of, you know, I use a lot of this stuff as like inspiration. Or like, what do I want to do? What can I see that makes me like resonate with it? And that is definitely like the imagery that they use for this one is definitely one thing that I like. Next up is Oblique Occasions. This is Don't Look at Me. This is probably one of my top 5 records that I bought last year. Immediately when this record starts, I saw the release coming out and I didn't really know the album, and then I saw the pressing, and I'll show you guys that in a second. But I was like, I just need to buy that, because it looks cool, it sounds cool, and it's just cool. Like that was really where it was. He's got another pressing that's coming out in the morning. We're gonna see how that is. I'm gonna try and get it. Some of these sell out super fast, some of them have sat. But I'm really glad that I picked this guy up. The pressing on it is absolutely gorgeous. As you guys know, I'll show you the back before we get into the pressing, little fucking tease on you. But it's kind of similar art style. They use a lot of like, just like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, it's just like very cool, like almost comic book-esque influence with like Greek mythology and like Japanese characters and shit. Like, I don't know, it's a vibe. Like, that's the only thing that I could say. And it's, you know, shout out to Aloe City Records for putting these guys on, giving them a platform to kind of make this stuff. But I mean, come on, like, What's not beautiful about that record? Look at the splatter. We got a clear with that fucking bubblegum pink splatter, magenta. But the record on this shit sounds great too. It's definitely like one of my favorite pressings that I have in my collection. And like I said, I cannot recommend this record enough to you guys. But yeah, go check it out. Oblique Occasions, Don't Look at Me. This video is going a little bit longer. I was not trying to make a fucking 30-minute video, but here we go. Last but not least, this is my boy Macro Blank. I just, like I said, I can't gush enough about the product and the music itself. It's inspiring. It makes me want to take the gear that I showed you in the beginning and not copy these dudes, but just follow that energy. Like, it's just, I feel compelled at times to create things. After listening to these records, I get inspired to go and, you know, talk to my boys and be like, look, can we like get some beats together if you got any samples that you want to use? And just, it is one of those things where I don't know, I nerd out about stuff. Y'all know that. But let's just get to the end of it. Like I said, thank you guys for watching. I'm glad to be back. I'm glad that the channel is going in a different direction. I don't really know. We're going to do this like one step at a time. I don't want to promise anything. I'm not going to promise a schedule or anything like that. But just know that the content is being made and it will come out when it is ready. And I cannot thank you guys enough for people that ride with the channel, that have been here the whole time and in the future. And, you know, I'm excited. So let's definitely just keep that same energy. But let's look at this record before we go. This is my absolute favorite record, I think, maybe in my entire collection. This record is, as soon as I saw it, it's the background on my fucking laptop. Like, I see this every day when I turn my computer on. You got your, what are those dudes from Lord of the Rings? And then on the back, as you can see, you kind of have the Japanese characters right there. Everything's in Japanese. I can't write that shit. But as you can see right there, Aloe City World, you guys keep fucking doing what you're doing. It is so much fun to see people make things and give a shit about it. And that's what, like, I just appreciate about this record label. It's small, it's independent, but it's positive and it's good and it's solid products. This is not just me like fucking blowing smoke out of your ass. I found them, and pretty much any time that a release comes out, I'm gonna at least try and get it. Just because I know that they take pride in what they make, and as a fan of the music and as a fan of the aesthetic and a fan of the pressings, you know, they do such a good job. They do just a phenomenal job, and hopefully there's just more coming. But this record right here is, yeah, it's everything. Like, good luck finding it. That's all I'm gonna tell you. If you do find this randomly, buy it. I don't care how much they're asking for it, just buy it, because you're not gonna regret it. This pressing too is like this very cool black and white swirl. And I love this pressing. There's a few of them out there. There was I think a translucent one that was really cool. There's a red one that was really cool. But this was actually my favorite. And this was, I think, limited to 400 records. Was very glad to get this. It kind of like matches the color theme. I had all the Akai shit out earlier, but yeah. Macro Blank, Oblique Occasions, like Aloe City World Records. Just show love. Show love to people that are out here making good music, because this shit is good music, and I am very happy to own it. And it's also even better to be able to spin it, to use it, and hopefully you guys just stay tuned. There's more content coming. Probably gonna end up doing some DJ sets. I've been working a lot on that. We have the turntable, the new one, with the mixer. I bought a Behringer mixer that has actually done phenomenal. I'm very surprised. It's not the top of the line out there, but it has gotten the job done, and I'm very excited about that. And yeah, like I said, I'm excited to see what we're gonna do. Hopefully you guys have a good rest of your day. I'll see you in the next video. Peace.